Welcome back to yet another loadout race here in the hosting league, where we've got Void Fiend. Finally, to start with Void Fiend. Usually we see him in more of a tie-breaking role, when there's like, okay, let's see, do we have any of the racers tied up after two loadouts? Nope. I think it's only happened, let's see, we've had 3 tiebreakers. And one was just one individual because Zinc wasn't there. But Zinc is here today, up, down in the bottom right. I wanted to say top left. And Zinc couldn't be in a better position right now. Right? Currently the first seed overall in the hosting league, in the top position in the leaderboard. And what's this competition? I mean, who made this match? Well, of course it was me, but we've got lavalucario up in the top right. We got JDK up in the top left for lava. My bad. Top right is JD, and then we've got disturby down in the bottom left. So we've got like 3 Davids versus a Goliath here. And they will need to rely on the power of God to take him down, because Zinc is actually insane. Right, is probably one of the best racers over at Risk of Resources, has shown to be one of the best racers over here, and I believe only JD has gotten in 3rd place at least in a loadout race, aside from Zinc here. But yeah, there could be a huge upset. You never know. All it takes is one item, like Giga item, to be missed. All it takes is the rest of a run aside from that item to be really, really bad. Oh, got a little bit of a freeze up in the top right. Hopefully not too big of a concern. Okay, yeah, we're back. We're back. A little bit of technical difficulties. The classic small chest drum, man, absolutely. We already know what the TP item is, by the way. Zinc, who's already activated the TP, right? None of the other racers have done that yet. Everyone who finishes the TP will know that there is a H0s band that they will have, and well, that's just going to speed things up a lot, right? It's giving you a little bit of AoE in a sense. It's giving you a lot of boss control. All the bosses that just kind of stand still will die pretty quick to that. I believe Void Fiend's M2 does, was it like 1,000% if it's fully charged? Some crazy number like that. It's really good. Maybe it's only 600, I forget. 1,100, oh my god. Some high number. Right, so, and then you add a fire band in that multiplies it by 2.5 over time. Really, really good. It's either it's 3 times over time. I forget my numbers these days. I gotta go back and just look through all the items. I'll go on the wiki if I have to, because my knowledge is so non-existent at this point. It's 600 to 1,100. Okay. Like, if you ask me anything about all of the survivors prior to, like, Captain, I could probably tell you all the numbers. Because it was at around 1.0 I stopped looking at them. Ronaldo's 250, Kajaro's 3... Okay. There is a watch printer. Disturby's printing a few watches. That on the bottom left with the icy blue Void Fiend skin. I wanted to say, like, if it was the corrupted or not. I forget the other name of the skins. I'm forgetting everything. But you know who's not forgetting to activate the TP is JD. The second one there activates it, has a watch, has a soldier syringe. Look at that damage. Here we go. He's gonna have a lot of money after the TP. And sees the fire band and is thinking, uh-oh. For a lot of these racers, though, right, if you're JD, you're already chilling in the 20th seed. It would be nice to get out of the wildcard round. And with a first place victory, I believe JD has a pretty good shot of getting out of there. I think he does, actually, if he gets it first. I think if he gets it second, he's got a good shot of making it out as well. Depending on how the other racers do this week. But Disturby, in a little bit worse of a position, is already eliminated. Can still play spoiler here, can still try to mess up JD, can still try to mess up Zinc, who's the current #1 seed. Right, Zinc just needs to get in 3rd place, I believe, to secure the #3 seed. With Goji getting in 1st place, his last race, or their last race, my bad. And then we've got Lavalucario, the 26th seed. If Lava gets in first place, and JD gets in last, Lava will make the tournament. So, a very high ask, a very tall order here for Lava, who's still on stage 1, charging the TP. He's got a lot of money, though. See if there could be a certain item on the stage. Maybe he's going to stack up on some watches like Disturby's doing. Who knows? Right, everyone's got something they got to try and at least do. So for Zinc, if Zinc gets in first place here, we'll have a perfect record in the hosting league, having never lost a race. Straight 7 weeks of first, right? Be a nice little thing for bragging rights. Does it do much for him? No. That could be cool. And okay, Disturby began the boss as well, is trying to deal with some of the ads right now. Not a bad idea, right? As long as the Stone Titan is above, I believe, 97% health, will not shoot lasers. So it's taking care of him right there. Going corrupted mode. Okay. Does trigger the Titan. Wasn't close enough to it. But is in corrupted mode and has 100 armor, so it does like next to no damage anyway. That is something you kind of want to do as Void Fiend. If you can find a way to get yourself into corrupted mode, like right as the TP starts, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, right? You could just mow down the boss, and by the time you're out of corrupted mode, the boss is dead. And everything else is dead. Because you just have this giga beam of piercing death with Flood. A really good Corrupted Flood. Oh, man. So good. And you saw it happen just on Zinc's screen down in the bottom right. Right, activated TP, went Corrupted, and immediately killed the boss. And that's just with a Fire Band and an AP round. Yeah, and a Beetle Guard. That could be cool. That could be good. Obviously, Zinc isn't picking it up yet. Might be thinking of a Recycler, right? Beetle Guards are cool to have, but you know what's cooler is something like a Charge Perforator. Or a Little Disciple. Something that's going to like really increase your DPS. Maybe a Shatter Spleen, right? Something. Beetle Guards help a little. They're good diversions. And Disturby's on a stage 2 at about the 8-minute mark. No one died so far, very good. Disturby's actually the only one to go more than one watch deep into that watch printer. Right, so as long as she doesn't die, has a pretty good damage advantage, right? Zinc doesn't have 2 watches. Zinc just has the 1 AP round and a stun grenade. Oh, there is a syringe in there, which helps. Question mark gives a Topaz Brooch to lavalucario from that Tri-Shop. Chant Shrine on Zinc. That's another AP round. Okay. Losing a bit of that advantage for Disturby as Zinc finds that and gets an Ocular HUD, a HUD that also JD has. JD, who's pretty on par with Zinc's items to an extent. Right, found the Ocular HUD, was looting over in the same spot, but hasn't activated TP yet. Right. Is also missing, I believe, the AP rounds. Didn't go into the Chant Shrine. But it's going to activate now, as Zinc is, probably thinking of Prion. I don't think you really want a Prion that much if you have an Ocular HUD, though. Right, on Void Fiend, all that extra corrupted time. Maybe with a couple crowbars or something else, I would go Prion. But right now, this is a chillin' setup. Yeah, JD, fully corrupted, by the way, activates the TP, immediately annihilates the Beetle Queen. Yeah, you keep corruption up with HUD, and even after the HUD expires, as long as you have the same Flood active, it's permanently crit, as long as it's up. The second you let go, though, it's gone. For good, but... yeah. There's a ban of damage items, Prion lets you zoom. Oh yeah, it does. I'm just thinking, like, at this point in the run, for the racers here, right? There's not a whole lot of, like, Giga Prion items, right? You want to think of, like, crowbars, you want to think of more than just one band. Oh, well, speaking of bands, okay, there's second band. Second band is found, it's Kajaro band. And it's also from the TP. 2 bands with teleporters. Wow. Jeez. Alright. And, uh-oh. Oh, poor Disturby. Minus 40% damage as the ads over there just kind of overwhelm her. Opts to heal up a little bit, but down 2 watches, right? Disturby has a chance here to try and play spoiler in this race. Can foil the plans of lavalucario if she gets in 3rd place overall, or beats Lava at least. Lava currently a little bit behind JD. JD who's done with the TP. JD who still has the watch. JD has 2 attack syringes. Oh, there was a Void Cradle. I feel like Zinc would have got that. It must be a bad. Yeah, it's Void Crit. Yep. Okay. Not a good one to have. Going for a different chance shrine as JD. Hits it 3 times, gets a Goat Hoof. A Goat Hoof that is the only speed item so far for all the racers. Unless you really want to count Cold War Stealth Kit. Yeah, I feel like any other Survivor Prion would be really good right now. A Void Fiend is just so good. Ooh, that's sneaky. Did you just see what Zinc did there? Zinc just picked up that that crit glass through the floor. Because it's so thin, right? You can get your head close enough to something. It doesn't matter if there's an obstacle in the way. Not a risk of rain, it just says, okay. No way! Are you kidding me? So much crit on Rally Point. And there's a HUD, and suddenly that HUD isn't feeling so good. If you have an ocular HUD and you're at, what, 31% crit now? You're only really benefiting a certain amount. I mean, you've pretty much got full uptime of Corruption if you just have a high enough attack speed and are constantly hitting stuff. But 3 crit in a row, what is this seed? Hopefully some of the other racers find that. Hopefully Disturby, who's down 2 watches, right, gets a hold of that. Hopefully lavalucario, who did finish off the TP, gets the hoof. Right, Lava, who needs to get in 1st place and at least get 1 bonus point to have any hope of remaining in contention. Alright, still a little bit behind. It's a War Banner, I guess it's another speed item. And there's a Wood Sprite, which a Wood Sprite would be kind of nice for Disturby right now, who activated the TP and got hit quite a few times. Is healing up a tiny bit from the healing drone, but if not careful, might end up with the first death of the run, as Zinc, meanwhile, is heading over to Stage 4 over at Siren's Call. There's 2... Is that 2? Yeah. Ignition tanks, 2 of them. And no gasoline to show for it. no Molten Perforator. Fire bands, but those don't count for that. And while I'm talking about that and fire damage of all sorts, Disturby takes death number 1, almost death number 2, might be, if this land isn't softened, which it is now 5 minutes behind all the other racers. Right, lost of 2 watches, which makes this a whole lot more difficult. Has a bunch of ads to deal with, and it's just getting slowly overwhelmed with the lack of AoE. Which, I mean, that's tough. There's Polyloot on Zinc, also Larvas, takes a hit, falls down a bit, and did not have the M2 ready. If it was not for the Corrupted mode, which I guess the Corrupted shift was the reason why so much damage was dealt to Zinc, Zinc would have died. Zinc, thankfully, with no watches, will not lose any. There's another fire ban from the TP. What are these teleporters? Is everything bugged? Okay, 3 Kajaros bans. There's 3 crit. What is this speed run of a seed? Oh my god. Okay. Hopefully some of the other racers can put these items to good use, but the current strategy that would have given the best outcome, that would given the best chance of winning, is just to rush literally everything, because apparently all the items are just given to you through the teleport. Oh man. JD dealing with the 2 Dune Striders ended up having 2 instead of just 1 from activating the TP a bit later from Zinc. Alright, it's looking pretty solid second place currently in this seed. Lucario feeling pretty comfy in third. Could easily catch up to second, though. Needs first again in order to have any chance at all of making the postseason. And also needs Disturby to get past this TP, right? Is dealing with the Beetle Queen. The Beetle Queen that migrated? Where's she going? Oh boy. Has a mending Lemurian. It's recovering a lot of health that's just already been taken away. Look at that. Healing for 25 every tick. There's 2 mending enemies now. But thankfully, Void Fiend has a lot of DPS. Disturby takes her down and is able to charge the TP. And get a friend. And there we go, band number 2 as JD finishes off stage 3 TP. Needs a whole stage to catch up to Zinc, though. Zinc getting pretty fast here. Isn't really thinking about going for a worship unit or anything. Doesn't have a skip available. If you're Zinc, the one thing you want right now is movement speed. Right? You've got 3 AP rounds. You got 3 fire bands. You got 3 crit of Polyloot. But if you have no movement speed, it's kind of hard to get down that corrupted M1 on Mithrix. And hopefully there's a speed printer at some point, right? Zinc doesn't have the hoof that JD and Lucario have. Disturby actually having a chance to find that as well. And there's a Lysate. That's pretty useless. You don't want that. All it does is give you an extra corrupted ability of dealing damage to yourself. Which, when you already have 3 crit, pretty sure you don't need that. Alright. And there's the hoof for Disturby. Very nice. Finds the Void crit. Now, you don't want the Void crit. Right, because all that's going to do is get rid of your 3 crit glasses on stage 3. Fun fighting Zai construct with 0 speed. Oh, yeah. But look at that. The Zai is standing still for a second. That's all the time that Zinc needs, but doesn't focus on the Zai for just a second, and now is standing in Mushroom Poison, Mushroom Spores. I guess it's farming pennies off them. And gets the hit. There you go. Lucario pops a drink, almost dead. Only alive because of the armor. Down to 28 health. Needs to dodge the oil orbs, but one oil orb goes the other direction of the other 2, and that's going to be a death for Lava. Now down a lot, right? JD is 5 minutes ahead. Zinc is 2 stages ahead on top of those 5 minutes. And it might be death number 2 here for Lava. Stuck up in the air. Getting siphoned. Is opting to heal with the R ability. Which isn't too bad of an idea when you're down to 40 health. Needs to finish off this Dune Strider with just 1 shot, right? Just keep sprinting, isn't shooting, is taking a couple hits because of that, is having a lot of enemies build up. Remember, these racers don't have any AoE outside of the Fireband. And Lava hasn't picked up the second one yet. As the Clay Dune Strider goes for another suck. And the suck actually pulls the golem inward and makes the laser land. Oh my god. Disturby finding a crowbar actually picks up the wood sprite. And that's death number 2. for Lava, which is good for Disturby. Disturby only at 1 death, right? JD actually in trouble here, stuck inside the slow. Escapes, though, with the shift. And there's another ukulele for Zinc, who's charging the TP, done with the boss. I believe that was the TP item. Says Pillar's Time, and is going to say Yippee. Is that an emote with the colons on it? I guess. I don't think so. Someone link that to me? I gotta understand. Oh, Lava actually finding the crit. JD found it as well. JD found all 3. We'll see if Lava can find it. Might be thinking about leaving, hitting the TP. Does hit the TP. Misses the other crit there, which is gonna hurt. And Disturby goes for a blue portal. I really like this play that Disturby does. Right, Disturby, who never found the Ocular HUD, is at least getting a chance to try and have an advantage over the people who might have a little bit more experience in the game than her. Right, looks at it though and just sees a resonance disc, sees, I believe, a rose buckler. It's like, alright, that's not what I need. And moves on. Going for a damage chest here is another AP round, number 4 for Zinc, as Zinc is getting harassed by Wisps, just thinking about just leaving, right? Said Pillar's Time earlier. Is at 22 minutes, which is good, right? Oh, obviously a pretty good, that was 146 fall damage? It's not death, is it? No, okay. And no watches to break either. Alright, yeah, Zinc is thinking about it. Looking at the damage items, okay, what do you got? I got 3 fire bands, I got 4 AP rounds, I got 2 opal, 2 polyloot, 3 crit, and then it's, you know, this is the classic scenario that we always see as Disturby actually, out of all the racers, the only one to find brain stocks on Rally Point Delta. Okay, hello. That could be useful, killing 1 enemy and suddenly you have like 4, 5, 6 M2 shots. Put that in corrupted mode, and that's huge damage. Could be a little bit of movement technically as well. Lava dealing with a lavalucario. Already halfway dead, but still scary nonetheless. Not sure if the other racers had to put up with that. Kills it though, gets a lot of money. Levels up. And large chest, which has Warhorn. The same Warhorn, I think the other racers got it as well. JD's screen actually freezes there. And during that freeze on JD over on Lava, that's another death. Death number 3 from Larva. Lavalucario, rest in peace. Now at 3 deaths, right, needs to finish in first place with a bonus point, is going to need to have JD die like 5 times, is going to need to have Zinc die like 10 times. Even is going to need to have Disturby die a few times, right? Disturby 10 minutes ahead of Lava real time from all those deaths. And, okay, I think this is on cheese or something. All the racers are starting to freeze a little bit. But this might be the end of an era on the Discord side of things as we move into postseason, which is the good news. JD finding the polyloot on stage 4. Really good, very well done, right? JD still deathless. Did lose a bottle, but didn't lose his life. Thought this was recorded, it is. This is currently recorded in the league. As for the cup, I've got some ideas, but I'm starting to feel more and more towards doing things a little bit live during then. Even if it means times are a little bit more weird, everyone likes live. And that's death number 2. A lot of blind pests takes out Disturby. Does find another AP round, but that's not going to help when there's giant hordes. Now there is a gasoline that JD didn't find, a gasoline that Zinc didn't find. Lavalucario, right? Putting that fire to good use, is down a couple deaths, but has that gas, is going to be able to go through stage 5 and possibly pillars as well, assuming there is no skip. a lot more safely. JD finding hoof number 2 actually is getting a little close to being able to do a Void Fiend skip at a reasonable rate, at a reasonable pace. Zinc finally to pillar number 1, I believe. He's going for double blood, I don't blame him. And, oh, you gotta be kidding me. JD just tripped off a Mending Lemurian. And takes a little bit of fall damage from that. Thankfully not too much. So he looks through a couple items, gets another barrel, finds an FMP, which... Oh, no gasoline. I would still rather have the crit, honestly. Even with the 3 glasses, 100% is still really, really good. Okay, opal number 2 found for Disturby. Hopefully can lower the amount of deaths with that. Right, Disturby, who hasn't even activated the TP yet, is spending a lot of time not shooting the enemies. That's something you always want to be doing. You always want to be shooting the enemies, and you always want to be going towards the next chest. Or scouting, if you're not going to hit a TP, right? And there we go. Disturby's doing a little bit of that. Gets 2 crit glass. But yeah, oh, accidentally prints a medkit as well. That's an oops. Not sure what item was lost there. Oh, I think an opal was. Yeah, loses an opal. That's unfortunate. Lavalucario, meanwhile, dealing with some lava worms. Gets in corrupted mode, should have a pretty easy time, assuming no worm spikes happen. And during all this time, right, I believe it took Zinc like 5 minutes to do pillars. That's what happens when you have no movement speed. Even just with 2 pillars. Could you imagine if that was 4 pillars? Oh, jeez. Here we go. The Mithrix fight begins for Zinc. It shouldn't be too long with all the damage items. But this does give JD a little bit of a chance. If Zinc dies, right, even just once, JD has, with 2 goat hooves and a mocha, I believe that's... Is there a backup mag as well? I don't think it's even needed or not. I think JD can technically pillar skip with that at a reasonable-ish rate. Oh god. Okay, Disturby has the brain stocks. Just use the M2 a few times. Come on, get some damage out. Use it. No! This is the shot, and there's so many mending enemies in there. Look at those Dune Striders. I don't even think... Oh, it is sucking. Okay. There are so many enemies. The good news about the Dune Strider sucking, though, yes, it's going to get back to full health, but at least some things are going to die. Oh, Zinc just holding... Yeah, he's doing the holding strat. Yeah, that's what you want to do. You get an Ocular HUD, just hold down as long as you can. It's 100% crit. Even if you like miss a few seconds, 4 or 5 seconds of not hitting the enemy because you're not sprinting, it's worth. Now in phase 2, just using the M1, sniping these wisps is taking a lot of damage though. Uh-oh, has a golem right behind. Hopefully focuses on the Beetle Guard because things can get really spicy. Spicy just like for Disturby as Disturby takes death number 3. Getting really low on health is Zinc. It is really starting to play with fire here with these exploders. Okay. Takes a... Yep, there it is. That's a death. That's death number 1 for Zinc. Takes a shot from a, I believe, a golem hit? I don't think there's any other wisps. And there was... Yeah, probably just one of those shots that are sine waving across the screen. One of them probably signed right in there. And now at a 5-minute penalty. Right? No movement speed. Having to play it out in the open. JD found Feather? Oh, that's going to be nice. Yeah, JD's build is really, really good. Obviously, is going to have a little bit of a problem. I think if Zinc dies a second time, we could see JD potentially take this loadout. As Zinc is down to 100 health, right? Has no Feather. And is trying to hold on to that crit, though, to try and be able to get Mithrix down to 75%, right? Is going to be able to make the survivability a lot higher. right? Just from taking that hit, almost getting hit by a pizza there. Again, 0 movement speed. Thankfully, the Golem decides to track onto the Beetle Guard there as Disturby, again, still just really struggling on stage 3, but Zinc walks backward into a pillar, and that's death number 2. Featherless. Speedless. Has the damage. But that's about it, and now with a 10-minute penalty, JD, oh my god, has to shift out of that pizza. JD's got something going, maybe. We'll see what can happen. But as for bonus points for Zinc, is looking pretty unlikely if JD can pull this off. Zinc, though, almost done with Mithrix. Hopefully the Beetle Guard doesn't mess this up for him. Zinc pops crit. No, Ocular HUD, that's a 60-second. Yeah, there we go. Fire Band goes for that. There's a watch printer as well JD's printing into. You don't want to lose your movement speed. And then Zinc says, no speed game is so stupid. Well, Zinc, maybe you should find the speed before complaining about it, right? JD knows where the speed is. 2 hooves, a mocha. You put yourself in this position here. And now you have to pay the penalty. But, I mean, honestly, even without the movement speed, played it as pretty close as good as you can, right? It's tough. With a 10-minute penalty, it's still going to be able to finish super fast, right? At 42-ish minutes, JD has only got about 10 minutes, cannot die, right? We do know JD struggles a bit with Phase 2. We've seen it in the past. As for Lavalucario at 47 minutes, this is going to be up for him, right? Needed to get 9 points, I believe, in this race in order to qualify for the tournament. So unless someone steps out, opts out of the race, right? This is GG for Lava. We'll get to join Disturby in the next loadout and try to play as much of a spoiler as possible. Zinc does make it onto the ship, right? It's already at 70%. We'll be done. Yeah, it's going to be like a 42, 40-something. I think was when all is said and done. Feather was stage 5? Yes. I think there was a hoof and a feather on stage 5. And then there was a hoof on stage 2 and a chance shrine. There we go, at about 43-ish minutes. Go ahead and put up time to first. Good news for Disturby is that the TP is charged to 99%. Lava hasn't died since... Oh. Okay. Since 3 seconds ago. 42:36 is the time for Zinc. We'll get that on there. Well done, Zinc. But as close of a shot of lightning as we can get, JD climbing the tree, right, standing at about 34 minutes, is slowly pillar skipping. But this pillar skip is faster. Ideally, oh, well, you don't want to get corrupted. Uh-oh. Uses the shot, still has the shift. And misses it. Oh god. You do have Opal, you do have stalls. I think there's a landing spot down here, misses that as well. Okay, but gets that one. So that's a huge time loss, something that JD really needed. Yeah, really easy to forget when you have that corruption meter there. And ends up losing so much time off that. Lava, though, taking 2 deaths during this at the start of the TP event. Right, looking at a pretty bad spot. The time to complete right now for these racers, 82:36. As far as Disturby, it's looking unlikely that she'll be able to make it past stage 4. Even if the run is recovered and salvaged. And as for Lava, needs to not die if he wants to have a shot at getting in 3rd place for this loadout. Or 2nd, maybe, if JD really messes this one up. JD opting just to go for the pillars. So good news for JD there is still, at least you're doing pillars and you're getting from pillar to pillar a solid 40-some, 50% faster. I think it's actually closer to 40, yeah. Yeah, I'll take 40% faster pillars any day over complete pillar experience. The full pillar process. And you know what the good news about doing pillars is that unless it's a soul pillar, right? Progress is progress no matter how much you make. If you get some percent on the board, it's better than trying to do a pillar skip, especially with just the 2 hooves and the mocha, right? And then falling back down, and then having to do it again, and then having to do it again, and then having to do it again. You don't want to die, though. JD, backing up here for a moment, took a lot of curse from that golem and those exploders. Is that 67%? Only needs to be in there for about 3 more seconds. Just, there you go. 1, 2, though, almost a 3. Season 94, there you go. Blood pillars only take 10 seconds. And then once they're done, you're done, right? The 2 pillars total, I mean, it's only 20 seconds in the hosting league and Gauntlet Loadout Races. Ooh, uses that feather. I would have, if I was JD, I would have gone for the shift first to get a little cooldown back, but thankfully JD calculated it, mapped it out. That was safe to do. Is going to make it into the Mithrix fight at 37 minutes, only having about 4 to spare. And takes a quick breather, sets up the music. Oh, there was a needle tick. A hidden needle tick that Disturby found. Lava, by the way, making it onto the moon as well. Let's see, Lava opted for an F&P, does have 2 gasoline with the 2 ignition tanks, so that might help with doing pillars. We do know that Lava struggles a little bit with certain pillar skips, right? At 2 hooves and 1 mocha as well, right? You could try to go for a skip. You could probably pull it off with that. If you were very well versed and were not messing up, right? But we also know that Lava likes to do mass pillars. Oh, please don't do it. There's only 1. Just go to the blood. Or at the very least, if you're going to do a mass pillar, just go and do the design first, and then go back and do mass. Right, so that way you're not doing as much back and forth. Disturby finally finishing off the Stage 3 TP. And while we have this time for first, I'm actually going to go ahead and put up time for completion. Because that might be a little bit more relevant now for both Lava and Disturby. Time to complete is going to be 82:36. They need to have Mithrix dead at that point. JD, meanwhile, at 38 minutes, right, has until 42 on the spot guaranteed to be able to try and be on the ship, right? So has 4 minutes until ship. We'll see what he can do. Right, doesn't have the ocular HUD to get that 100% crit. Only has 3 glasses, right? That's what Zinc had, but does have some opals, has some feather, has some speed there. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. Does not get a full-on hit from that hammer, thankfully. Is able to get a little bit of corrupted in there. Dashes towards the center. This is where you want to be right now. If you have a feather, you can just want to be aggressive. You want to play around wherever Mithrix is dashing. I know it's scary, but when you've got a feather again, that's how you get into it. 7 deaths for Lava, or Disturby here. We'll see if she can run away and try to at least get the TP done, get the stage 5 to feel a little bit better about the run. Lava, meanwhile, doing the mass pillar for the first pillar. Come on. Come on, Lava, just look at the soups first. Do design. You can come back here later, but there's just so many golems and so much splash damage. You can just leave it, and then you can come back and they'll all jump off a cliff, and it'll be so much easier. Oh, this place is splash damage heaven. I'm telling you, especially that specific mass pillar, that is how you die. That is the death mass pillar. See, every single golem shot is just dealing at least some damage to Lava because of the huge splash on that. Just hitting the wall. JD on phase 2, down in the bottom left. Kicking butt. Took care of all the wisps. Is down to just a couple exploders and a golem. Has only 2 minutes, or yeah, 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes to get onto the ship though. Has a Prion though. If you are JD, you want to be able to prime and prepare. Hopefully the timeout isn't called here. Oh, come on. Timeout's called right as JD's getting ready for the Prion. If I was JD, I would just play that out. I would play out that Prion and then pause. But pretty much a reflex at this point. Kind of hard to do that. We'll go ahead and watch and wait here as Disturby has to concede with that most recent death. Freon's not hitting. Yeah, it is premature. But at least like to see that, to know that. Right. Wait, hold on. Want to make sure we have it right. There we go. Lava on the left, JDK on the right. Here we go. 42.36 for first. Time to complete 82.36. Will this Prion at land? The answer is no. Oh my god, that was like half a second too. Not even, that was close. That was really close. And that sucks for JD. Now 2 minutes behind. If that Prion landed, 3 fire bands, maybe a polyloop proc. There's a crowbar. High chance for crit with 31%. That could have been it right there. 2 AP rounds, a focus crystal, 3 watches. Ugh. You hate to see it, but the good news is that Mithrix is already a 4th dead, is getting more dead now. Look at that. Just off the... Oh my god, that was so close. And even if you don't win this loadout, if you could deny double bonus or single bonus on Zinc, that's got to be a good feeling if you're JD in the 20th seed. Denying both points on the #1 racer. It is getting ready for Mithrix to run over. Personally, I would have... Yeah, there we go. Deals with that, and... Oh my god. Oh geez. Okay, here we go. Is in the pizza. Oh. Oh! Shifts out just in time. Again, 1 death, and it's over for JD. And it's very likely that Zinc will also get a bonus point. Yeah, JD needs to be on the ship in like 20 seconds. Does not win the loadout, but can still deny. Just cannot get hit here. Right, played phase 2 really well. Played phase 3 so far a little sloppy, taking a few hits. Changing into corrupted mode mid pizza. It's hiding in a really awkward spot. It's, yep, very easy to get hit by pizza when you can't see Mithrix. I don't know what it is. It's just, it's hard on the brain. And that's going to be a death for JD. Is not going to get in first. Is not going to deny a bonus point. But we'll go ahead and put this up to 52.36. Time to deny double. 52.36 for JD. Unfortunate. It was a good attempt. As it just got so close down to the wire here. And Lava taking a death mid-pillar. Doing the design second. There was a pocket ICBM soup. Oh, JD trying to go for the phase 4 skip here. If I was JD, right, I don't want to die again. Just go for phase 4. And you can have a Prion, and Mithrix will instantly die. Oh, here we go. Okay, well, I'm just dumb anyway. LOL. Yeah, JD lands it, saves some time, a lot of time. Easy. It's done. 48 minutes. Let's go, JD, with only one death. At 48-20. Making it out of the portal. It's a good one. It's going to have a sub 50. Pretty good. Pretty damn good. For someone up against the #1 seed. I was going to try the... Oh, this is awkward. Okay. Goes for the vent lock. I guess that does technically speed things up quite a bit. Well done, JD. Nice. Very fancy. I always get afraid when people try that kind of tech because, you know, this is just me. Of course, here in the hosting league, it's called the hosting league because, well, we all know what the term hosting means. Dying of fall damage, falling off the map, all that stuff. Whatever you think. I've had many incidences where that has ended up with me falling underneath the map, and I end up losing the race because of it. I think it's happened one other time as well. Maybe Lava can finish? Has 7 minutes. If it's deathless, I think it's very possible. JD taking a quick pause here. Is still going to be able to deny a bonus point here, as long as he can unpause and finish the run here. But we'll focus on Lava as Lava's beginning this fight here. 6 deaths. If Lava can finish this run, we'll get his first point in the hosting league. A little bit late, but still nice, still a good feeling. And with Zinc being denied points, right? Or point. Gives you a chance in the second loadout. Now the second loadout's Rex, so hopefully Lava has a thing or two in terms of knowledge on Rex, but... Here we go, we'll have to at least get through this loadout first. Through the rest of Void Fiend. Lava didn't find HUD. Opted for FMP. With the double ignition and double gas. Only had 2 crit though. Personally, I would have kept Ocular HUD, but I can see the reasoning, the logic behind why Lava felt he needed it. 49-31 by the way for JD. 1 death. Well done. So that does it. In terms of first and second, we can go ahead and hand those out. It's JD getting 2 points in the first loadout. And Zinc getting 4. Almost done with phase 1 already. Remember, Lava has 3 AP rounds. My apologies. 3 fire bands. Focus crystal in there. Never found the poly on stage 4, so that's unfortunate. Has a couple backup mags though. Oh, gets hit. Is down to 78 minutes. Has only 4 minutes to finish this fight. I don't think it's going to be possible at the rate this is going. We'll see. Oh nope, that's another shockwave. Is prematurely dodging him, and that's a death right there. Goes to 83 minutes, and that's going to call it. Unfortunate. Right, no feather for Lava. Made things a lot more difficult, and Cheese is going to see that. It's going to call timeout, and that's going to be it for Lava. We'll have a chance in loadout 2 to try and have one final opportunity to get a point on the board. And there's the timeout. I don't think he's hearing it, or is maybe thinking about waiting a little bit. Timeout was called already. It's now at 88 minutes. She's trying to find a way to contact Lava. Hello? Oh no. Oh man. Yeah, Lava. He's locked and he wants to do this. He wants to beat it. Maybe Cheese. No, definitely hit it. Not yet. And even with just that one death, like, isn't doing too bad. You don't tell me when to finish, ref. I'll finish when I want. Oh, man. Getting the practice in? Yeah. Yeah. Timeout's called again. Okay, so here's it that time. And just gonna get the news. And there we go. GG. But that isn't it, because we still got Rex. We'll see in just a moment here. Rex time. Here we go. JD doesn't want to do Rex. Okay, yep, get in there. We got Rex, and it's not a good loadout either, right? What do we see here? Well, it could be worse. Oh, Disturby does not want to do this. Uh-oh. What? Okay. Well, if there was any chance for Disturby to do well, it would have been here. But Disturby clearly not a fan of Rex. Just opts for the death as a protest of sorts. Maybe it's to apply a little pressure, to do a little better. Gets a stun grenade. Needs to handicap to give others a chance. True! Oh, man. Okay. Everyone's got a stun grenade. I'm stunned from what happened. Someone's stream broke, so we sat here, paused for 30 minutes, and Disturby died the first time. So had to re-die for fairness. Oh! Okay. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, yep, oh, yep. Thanks. Now, a little bit of context. I think maybe I had to say something on that. I forget that happening. There were some recording issues with the first attempt. I do remember that. Yeah, it's a cheese moment, alright? That wasn't on Disturby, just when in doubt, right? And you, whether it be on YouTube or on here on Twitch, right? I think we're all in agreement. We're all able to agree that if anything ever goes wrong, we can just blame it on cheese. There's a large damage chest. No one's opened it yet. No one's gotten the squid polyp. All we're seeing here is what are these items? We got stun grenade. We got War Banner. We got Back Mag on this M2. But Zinc sees the large damage and is thinking about it. Thinking about that Berserker's Pauldron. Yeah, Breach, this is it. To be fair, this is like week 7 for all of our referees. Having to do this like 3-4 times a week sometimes. 3-4 times a week of having to set up recordings and sending me emails and uploading stuff that takes like 5 hours to go through. Zinc finds pennies, that's huge. If you have pennies on Rex, and you don't have too much curse, you can just neurotoxin something, and then they do a lot less damage to you. And then you can earn a lot of cash, and it's really cool. Zinc, though, yeah, just gonna spam the ability. Honestly, good idea to do that, to get low on health. If you have a lot of if you try to wait for full health before you use your ability every time, all you do is curse yourself even more. And Zinc's gonna use those apples and gain like 5 health per. The apples are percent based. Ooh, gets Fuel Cell. Fuel Cell with Egg. Egg's a pillar skip alone, but with Fuel Cell pillars, or Fuel Cell Egg, that's like Giga Pillar Skip. Giga Fast. Giga Good. Disturby has a Glacial Blind Pest. How did that happen? Where's everyone else's Glacial Blind Pest, Oh god. Lava. Down to 25 health. There's a Golem Laser. Oh, but it shoots his other friendly Golem. Okay. Skip already, just go. Alright, Wally. If I was comfortable on Rex, I would do that. But everyone else has their own comfort zone, right? At any point that someone feels comfy, they can go, go, go. But if I'm Rex and I don't have my roots, personally, I would move a bit. But I wouldn't go TP TP. I don't think many people would at all. We see Beetle Queen. Okay, death number 1 for Lavalucario. Not looking good. I think the gamble still might be up. The left side of the screen's looking a little scary. Disturby hasn't activated TP yet. Lava without the Ice Band before TP. JD hasn't started TP yet, still has a decent amount of curse. Or, yeah, has a lot of curse in hand, as Disturby takes death number 2, as Lava takes death number 2. A lot of deaths on the left half. So many golems, so much going on, right? Activating the TP later on, as opposed to the other racers, right? 5 minutes in, there's not only going to just be Beetle Queen, there's going to be a Beetle Queen, and like an extra 100, 120, 150 credits worth of enemies that spawn in at the way start, and that's terrifying. Right, Zinc activated at like 2 minutes. You just get like a boss and nothing more. Oh, you had the really same items as first time? Okay. Yeah, I remember we had to do something like that. Ice Band is found for Disturby. And, oh, stuck. Stuck. Can someone get Lava out of there? Lava was stuck inside the beetles there. Okay, already 5 deaths. It's... Do I want to say it's over for Lava 4 minutes into the run? Oh my god. Yeah, another death happens. Exits out of the egg. It's just not getting all this whole crowd down. Needs to deal with the Beetle Queen. Right, I haven't dealt with the concede policy thing. That's going to be if I do another season. But as of now, racers, as long as they finish their run... Whether or not it's within the first 40 minutes, the run will still count, right? So it won't count as a DNF. You just hope that someone else DNFs, and maybe you can get 1 point. And pretty much at this point, we're just going to see that happen with Lava, already at 9 deaths on stage 1. Meanwhile, we have JD, who's finished off the TP boss, right? No more Beetle Queen, is dealing with a few golems, is dealing with... a few beetle guards, loses a bottle, might take a death here, and if JD dies, it's all Zinc. Right, Zinc who has abandoned Aqueduct. I don't know, I haven't been paying too much attention to his screen because he hasn't been dying every 2 seconds. As JD takes death number 1. Gets an ignition tank. Is there a gasoline? Pennies, steak, and medkit in this tri-shop. Takes, I believe, another pair of pennies. Can actually pretty much go, go, go at this point because... Once you do a TP, assuming you're feeling comfortable enough to do a TP, you have $2,000. I think JD's actually going to try and penny farm this Lemurian, but it's not spitting fireballs, which is really annoying. Right? You want the Lemurians to go for fireballs and not for bites, because the fireballs only do half as much damage. And then using the Neurotoxin on top of that as pennies number 3 is found. Oh my god. New equipment discovered. It's a gun. Zinc is thinking about the gun. Well, what stages do we see? There is Rally Point. There is Abyssal Depths, but you do end up losing your Pillar Skip if you go down that route. Death number 13 for Lavalucario. Only 2 deaths on Disturby, and Disturby, well, hasn't activated TP yet, so we'll see what happens there, but does have a crowdfunder. Right, there was a crowdfunder, and there was an egg. Early game. Which crowdfunder might not be too bad if you're taking a bunch of deaths and struggling with AoE, because there's going to be so many pennies, all the hits that you're taking. You've got less to worry about. There's a Gubo Jr. in TP on stage 2. Zinc, having used the gun, gets a Queen's Gland and a Red Whip. A little bit of movement speed for traversal and escaping, and then also has a yellow item. Has another distraction on top of the 2 gunner drones. Pretty neat, pretty good. How many dollars? 472 on Zinc. Look how little damage. Yeah, it's purposely getting hit, trying to apply the neurotoxin, though, to reduce the amount of damage being taken. That was a strategy I remember doing when I was speedrunning Rex back in the day. Feels like it's been a year at this point. It almost has been. JD now on the stage 2 as well, alongside Lava. Lava, who made it with 13 deaths, JD only with 1. Looking pretty good for second place right now for JD, as Disturby still hasn't activated the TP, is just trying to survive the enemies, let alone make it out of the stage. Disturby finds those stage 1 pennies, might feel a little bit better. There's a blue portal at the end of stage 2. I believe all racers will have it. I don't think Zinc went for that. Disturby losing a bottle. And Zinc going back for the egg. Again, has an extra fuel cell, is using the pots to try and extend the egg, but accidentally left it. Finds a hoof printer and is going to blind print. What items do you want to keep? If you're Zinc, you want to keep gasoline. If you lose your gasoline, you lose your AoE. But you also need to have at least some movement speed. So this is a really risky gamble. Oh, there it is. Yep, you lost your gasoline. Say goodbye. Might as well go a little bit further in. Zinc does decide to. Isn't losing the War Banner, isn't losing the Slug. Well, I guess the War Banner could be kind of nice. There's a watch printer. Okay. Beetle Queen, also same thing going on JD's screen. JD kills the Queen. Gets a Red Whip and the gasoline. Unfortunately, though, for JD, right, it's going to see that speed printer, it's going to see that watch printer, and it's going to be like, well, snap. I've already got this gas in my hand, and there's no scrapper on the map. Right, Zinc was going all around the map. Didn't see a single opportunity to do it. Does take the blue portal. And it's a Happy Mask and a Predatory Instinct. Oh, no. Disturby again. Only at 2 deaths. Is going to use the crowdfunder. Yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to just try to kill this Beetle Queen as quickly as you can while it's circling, which is really hard to pull off when you only have 1 hoof. Right, trying to focus down on that enemy while it's still circled strafing. Right, it's constantly just having to sprint, looking away, turning back, getting a few shots in, sprinting, going back. So it's a really back and forth thing. As Disturby now gets the fuel cell. At least has the boss dead. No more additional Beetle Guards will spawn in, but needs to try to dodge a little bit. Again, if Disturby can get a completion within the 40-minute time frame, we'll easily be able to beat Lavalucario even at 4 deaths. Mike's going to have some of the most difficult stage 1s. In loadout races or not. As long as it's Eclipse 7 or up. I feel like if you're outside of Eclipse 7, Rex is like one of the easiest survivors in the game. Just from all the healing on all of your abilities, you can just spam your abilities and then just do like 1 Bramble Volley, and you go from 100% or like 10% health and you get it all back. And if you don't like the Bramble, because you're playing on DLC and there's Opal and there's safer spaces that it's not good to take damage anymore, then you still have the roots that you can just throw down every few seconds that give you back the full health anyway. Right, don't have that when you're playing Eclipse 8. JD going for the Prince as well. Might get lucky, might not with this gasoline. He's thinking about whether or not to pick it up yet. I'm assuming isn't picking it up because JD knows about the hoof printer. Yeah, it's running over there with the 2 watches on the ground. Blind printing as well. Doing a lot of the things that we've seen Zinc do in some ways, right? Going for the speed. Zinc didn't go for the watches. Maybe didn't feel confident, felt like it was very easy to lose them. And JD's actually only going to go for 1 hoof. Has 2 hooves and an energy drink, which isn't terrible. JD, if he finds more speed throughout the run, I feel like is going to have the better play. He's going to have the better outcome, assuming the watches are kept. And there is gasoline kept on JD. So JD is actually in a much better position outside of the whole +5 and outside of the fact that JD is a whole stage behind of Zinc. Right? We'll need Zinc to throw, and there is a Void Seed. Once that Void Seed is done, if it's like Poly Loot, if there's Void Scent, even, right, for the AoE damage, if there's Plasma Shrimp, literally anything good. And JD's in a much worse spot. Yeah, JD even going for the pot rolling, I'm assuming. No, it's going for the egg. Yes. Egg and pots? I'm not sure. But Disturby's at 6 deaths. Finishes off the TP. Does a lot... I mean, is it a lot better of a spot than Lava? Hopefully doesn't die. Nope, there's death number 7. Okay. Is half an hour behind JD. Does not have blue portal. But made it out. On the left side of the screen, again, just still trying to figure out how to do those fast Rex plays, trying to get down Rex on Eclipse 8. Either of them currently with E8 gold, still doing their climb separately outside of the league here, using this as a fun learning experience in some ways. Zinc just has a Bullrugged, right? A Void-touched boss. Bullrug's the Imp Overlord, is trying to play it safe, doesn't want to get needle-ticked. One needle-tick from that, I think, is death. Trying to play it safe, just get some TP charge in. Attack when possible. Down to 148 health, has 114 curse, certainly. One needle tick is death. Oh my god, plays it close there. Ugh. Lava done with the stage 2. Right. Much easier than stage 1. Once just one gasoline, a tiny bit of AoE, and you're in a much better spot. Oh, there was a rusted key printer. Did anyone else go into that? That's interesting. I'm surprised no one else did. Not just like one. Opted to have more speed over that. It's going for wraps as well. Which I guess Lava's thinking if I have enough wraps, I could just spam my M2 and I don't take as much curse. Which, while that is true, you don't want to lose your gasoline, and there it goes. After a few prints. And then you also would probably rather have a little bit of movement speed than minus 25 damage per hit. I'm not saying that the repulsions are bad, but gotta have some damage on Rex. Oh my god. Okay, minus 35 a hit. Has fully invested in the repulsion armor plate. And it's probably gonna go for the speed printer now. Yeah, okay. So it's macroing it up as JD... Oh, JD's dead. JD just lost watches. Had a needle tick moment happen. Right, was stuck in egg form. I guess the only thing you could have done if you were JD is maybe throw out apples and hope and pray that something good happens. And that you don't die after that moment happened. But unfortunately, I mean, that's minus watches. Can't tell if that's a 2 or 3. I think that's minus 2. That's minus 40% damage throughout the entire rest of the run. That JD will not be able to, not ever be able to get back, right? If you have, you know, you can find more damage items, you can find more watches, but it could always just been that plus the 2, and it hasn't even activated TP yet. Here we go. I think it's trying to pull the boss into the Void Seed. It was 3. Oh my god, okay. That's not good, yeah. Unfortunate. I still think the watches could have been a good play if you didn't break them. I think Zinc was thinking back to the stat. I think Zinc was the one that learned the stat from all the data over at risk of resources. Early on, I believe it was like 80-90% of watches get broken in a run. I think it's closer to 80. Right. Now, sometimes it's a matter of, okay, well, how far in was it before the watches got broken? If you hold on to those watches at least until stage 5, that's 60% damage more during stage 3, during stage 4, up through 5. If you break them on the moon, right, I think it's not as big of a deal. But to lose them so fast is really going to hurt. Because the value is gone. And there's another needle tick for JD as well. Blocks it. Teddy Bear. 14% moment. Let's go. Shout out. Oh, well, let's see if Teddy can do it again. Come on, Ted. Nope. Man, Golem's had a ton of damage. And you know what the crazy thing is that as soon as... Oh, no, it's another death. Come on, just... No, don't egg. The egg isn't going to save you. I think a lot of people... A lot of older gamers... Or not older, like, as an age, but, like, a lot of the older's pretty much essentially one strategy that you could think of back in the day. If you were going to die, and it was sprint. There's sprint, and you might survive because Rose Buckler might save you. You'll notice, like... I'll do it all the time. My default is sprint, and I guess it kind of still is because people think of like Wungus, of, oh, I can heal off Wungus if I have that. And then if you have Wungus and you have Rose Buckler, right, that's even better. But if you're Rex and you get needle ticked, the only thing you can really do is just look at something and shoot. Or maybe try to use apples. Or if you have Bramble Volley a bunch of enemies if there's a huge crowd near you. Right, try to do something. Here we go. Almost another death here for JD. Really scary. Down to 3 deaths. It might be a triple DNF at this rate. Right? The second JD finishes off this TP, and you really don't want to die again. But the second you finish, and the second you go through that Void Seed, you get Poly Loot, you get safer spaces, right? Look at Zinc. Look at Zinc's build right now. There's a needle tick even on stage 4. Right? The run just gets better and better and better. There's a razor wire from the TP, which is huge on Rex with this M2. Left side of the screen, we can see Disturby 2 deaths behind Lava, but both racers currently on the route of DNF, unless the people on the right, including Zinc, with such a good loadout, I don't see it happening at this point. It's a pretty much impossible to die 20 times with this loadout, with this amount of knowledge, with this amount of experience. But the thing about Zinc is not only is Zinc experienced and you know, just time, but you have to think about how has Zinc used his time with Risk of Rain 2. Well, Zinc has used it to mod the game, knows its ins and outs, knows all the mechanics, understands the enemies, right, through that, has played a lot of scrimming, has done a lot of speed running back in the day. Right, Zinc is well versed in everything. One of the last things that Zinc did was play the Eclipse 8 game mode. And you see it with a lot of the really, really good racers out there, like Cabbage and Zinc, is they used to speedrun. Right, Zinc you can throw in also with all the modding experience, which allows you to understand a lot more through that. But you can take, if you take a speedrunner and you're like, okay, you're a speedrunner, you know how to play the game fast. Well, I want you to play the game fast on this difficulty. And within the first few months, right, with Risk of Resources, with the Gauntlet mod, people like Zinc and Cabbage that we brought in really struggled. They died a lot. Because they weren't used to Eclipse 8, but as soon as they figured it out, they like combined all the pieces. And now they got the what is it, like the Wide Eyes Blue Dragon. They've got the Giga combo set up, right? And you take all that, and you give them a loadout like this. You give them a setup like this, and it's pretty much impossible to die. It's pretty much impossible for something really bad to happen, unless they go a little bit too far, like we've seen with Zinc, right? Took a lot of damage from that imp. Almost ended up proccing Old War Stealth Kit. Exodia, yeah, there you go. So Zinc is just like an absolute beast of a racer with all of that knowledge just conglomerating into one. And I think we're going to see Zinc do really well in the tournament, right? Only has to go through 2 rounds Even gets head stompers. Oh my god, what a free run this is. Right? And you look at the run, and you're like, well, how does Lava have 15 deaths? How does Disturby have 12 deaths? Disturby going through, I believe this is her first blue portal. Yeah. Happy Mask Predatory Instinct is not happy with that. Stage 1 and 2, yeah, it's really rough. And the thing about Risk of Rain is usually all a survivor really means is how rough is your start going to be, and how much do you need to get out of said spot. A loadout like this on Rex, things are really tough. It's one of the toughest loadouts right here. It could obviously be a little bit more rough if you throw in a Bramble Volley, if you throw in... no, that's about it. But Zinc figured that out, got it down, played it quick, and as fast as possible got in a position where, I mean, the run is brain dead. Zinc can go ahead, activate TP, is going to do that, it's going to be able to finish off the TP in a very quick time, has a Pillar Skip, has a way to easily stomp Mithrix on the moon. It's Rex, right? So you can just either use your Shift or you can use Egg to get Giga Stomps. Boom. And while that's going on, we got JD kind of like in the middle of the two, right? Not quite at 15, 12 deaths. Not quite deathless with Head Stompers and Polyloot and Plasma. Oh wait, well, those have the Polyloot and spaces. There's no Plasma on Zinc, I'm sorry. That is false advertising. But Zinc done with the TP. There's another band. And hopefully JD goes into that chest and finds the Head Stompers. If he does, we'll be able to have a good shot of getting in second place for this loadout. I guess the little bit of silver lining for JD, right, is you're guaranteed to get second place. I mean, the race is pretty much over. JD can still get second place having 2 points on the board, right? Even if this is a DNF, I mean, that's not good for standings, and you might lose a tiebreaker as a result down the line. Towards where JD is at the 20th seed, I think has a lot less DNFs than some of the other racers, so that might not matter. But having an extra 2 raw points might. Right, I believe JD has actually gotten 4th place despite earning raw points in a race in the past. Right, so a lot of placements overall are a little bit misleading for where JD is on the 20th. I feel like JD plays a lot more like an 18th or 17th position racer than towards 20, 21, 22. And JD getting in second place at this race is going to have an... Well, I forget if that means wild card. Might be able to actually make it out of the wild card, depending... Let me just look it up right now. Let's see. JD currently stands at 10 points in the leaderboard. If you get second place, you go up by 3. That's a bit of a gap between Mallard and him. And I think Mallard actually got in second place. So yeah, it's still going to be in wild card. But I think from what we've seen on JD as death number 5 kicks in, right, this loadout and Rex's movement as a whole really awkward still. No Head Stompers yet. Hasn't activated TP yet. I think we're going to see a good competition here. I think we could easily see JD as someone who has a really good chance of making it out of the wild card. Might be able to end up in the 19th seed at least. Which could optimally give a better... or ultimately give a better second round, assuming that JD does make it past the wild card. Gets a Death Mark, gets a Topaz Brooch. Really just not good items. Right, how many pennies does JD have? Only 1. Zinc had, I believe, 2 pairs of pennies. at this point as he... Yep, there's the Plasma Shrimp. And you look at Zink's build, and you ask yourself, how is this run so tough? How is JD at 5 deaths? How is Lava at 16? Disturby at 13, only on stage 3, stage 4. Okay, finally Polyloot number 2. Oh, okay, that's something that Zink completely missed, was the Uke from that. It's just insane. I mean, we see Plasma, Holly, there's an AP round. There was a Speed Printer, 8 hooves. Maybe that had something to do with it, right? Really easy to dodge everything when you have 8 goat hooves as Rex. Right, suddenly you're not having to play for speedrun mode where you're just trying to kill everything as fast as possible. And in one insane seed, we see Zink do over half of Mithrix's health in one stomp. And that wasn't even a crit, I don't think. If it was a crit, I think Mithrix would be dead right now. We could see it happen in Phase 3. Adaptive armor is still very much present on Mithrix there. The adaptive armor only goes away, I believe, at 100 armor per second or something like that. And then every 1% of Mithrix's health, he gains some amount of armor. I forget how much it is. So when you have giant chunks like that, it most certainly means that the second hit is going to do a lot less. Oh, crowbar damage? Oh, yeah, fair point. Disturbius is dreading the thought or idea of making it onto the next stage, right? Trying to make the most of it. Gets a bleed dagger there off of the blood shrine. Good play there. It's really rough to just want to go fast, to want to try and figure out the solution to a run when you're at 14, 15 deaths. Especially when you see items like this, just knowing like, oh man, they probably got it already down. It's a really rough position to be in, and JD taking death number 6. JD, you only will have 10 minutes to finish this loadout. Gets the ban or stealth kit. First stomp happens. Mithrix non-crit. I guess if you want to do like giga damage and be like super duper psychotic about it, if you throw down a neurotoxin shot and somehow land that, and then you can land the stomp. Neurotoxin reduces Mithrix's armor by like 20 or something. That'd be hard to do. Yep, there we go. Phase 4 already. The only real chance we can see for JD to be able to complete this is 1, JD needs to get the stompers after charging TP. 2, Zink needs to die Phase 4. Which is not going to happen when you're spamming your ability like that. There we go. That's going to make a really quick Phase 4. The only slow part was all the items that Zink had. Yeah. And the spaces bug. So if you thought it was hard to pull off as some of the survivors, is giga easy to pull off if you're Rex. As Zink runs over to the ship. Oh, might be able to pull it off. That's a lot of velocity. He does not get it. Okay. But still going to be able to get to the ship, have a sub-33 run. Really well done for a loadout like this. Found all the right things and just had a real easy time once things got together. I mean, Zink almost died on stage 3 quite a few times. Right? Ended up having that void-touched Imp Overlord. But with an almost perfect race... Right, did mess up a little bit on the first loadout with the double death there, and only getting the 1 bonus point. Ends up with getting 9 points total. It's going to be able to finish here. As for Disturby and Lava, right, gave it their all, gave it the best. We'll see come next time, come next league, where they'll be at. I'm excited to see how they'll grow. Both of them still doing their climb, and I hope they had a fun time here in the hosting league. Getting to have a taste of what the end result looks like, what things get to eventually in Risk of Rain. I encourage them to keep on trying, to keep going forward. right? We're seeing certain loadouts, ones that are a little bit more easily doable from the start, right? It's going from that to some other loadouts that at least have a little bit of trickiness that eventually even out. I know in prior weeks we've seen both of them go through and manage to complete those. Zinc getting a 32:42 time, which means the time to complete for JD here in order to get in second place for this loadout. It's going to be a 72:42. So he typed something into chat that we couldn't quite see. Does the spaces bug still work when you go and fight Voidling? No. It goes bye-bye. Let's see, we got about 9 minutes remaining here. With the Stompers in hand, I would say JD can definitely do it, right? Ice Band is the TP boss item. If JD just doesn't die and mess up, you could finish the game in 9 minutes. In 8 minutes, right? Be on the ship in 7. If you just go now. Right, you've got the egg, you got the Stompers, your Rex with safer spaces even in an Opal. It's a little mini stomp there. Just had to break through. It's crazy. Like, some runs like this, they're so good until they're, well, they're so difficult until that one item pops up. Sometimes for Rex, it's a few items. I mean, what was the start? It was like War Banner, Stun Grenade, pennies. A lot of pennies, but the pennies, I mean, I think that was one thing that let Zinc just go so much faster. Right, you have 3 pennies and you're on stage 2 TP. You get hit by like 1 or 2 shots and you have $1,000. See the Lazarus wings when he was an egg? I don't think I saw him. Do they have the same problem with Charge Perforator? Is it the Charge Perforator that you see if you're an egg? I know there's something that does that. It's either egg or vase. That's funny if they're still up there during that. It's funny. It's a Bungus Printer. TP's done at 66 minutes. There's about 5 minutes to kill Mithrix if you just go now. Right, what damage items do you have? Well, you don't have the 2 watches that you used to. Oh, there you go, there's watch. Really, right next to TP. Oh, yep, that makes sense. That's the one that Zinc got. So you've got a watch, you've got a crowbar. You don't have 3 crowbars, though. Right, Zinc had that. You have double Ice Band. Double Polyloot. I feel like if you get a Polyloot proc off of Mithrix, it's a free phase stun. That should, like, instantly kill. You've got a Focus Crystal in there. Double crit. Is there a Predatory or Scythe? No. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. Encrusted Key. Here we go. It's going to be, yeah, Plasma Shrimp. There you go. Easy. Down. You've got like 5 minutes, a little under 5 minutes to do this fight. Definitely doable. Oh, you don't gotta kill that. You can just host skip right here. Come on. Oh, wants to go for the kill. Or nope. Okay, just gonna go for the skip. It's finding the rock, looking for the rock. The rock's hard to find because it's nothing but fog down there. Finds it, goes up, easy. And hits the ceiling. Good job. Really well executed. And the Mithrix fight is going to begin. Welcome in, Raiders. Hope you're doing well. A little under 4 minutes for this fight. It's really cutting it close. And, oh, that was a Polyloop proc. Okay, that's adaptive armor. At work, at play. Did a lot less damage than what we saw from Zinc. Right, JD's going to have to get the full height, the maximum value from these stomps. Right, you notice that he's kind of rushing the process here. He's thinking about, okay, I got to stomp really, really fast. I have to just do it immediately. Right, goes into the egg, immediately ends the egg, accidentally ramp cheeses Mithrix. Oopsie. Okay, didn't take damage from that. Goes up, immediately goes for the stomp, but Mithrix is still unarmored, right? You want to wait for Mithrix's armor to go away. You want to wait until you're as high as possible. And if you're going to use your shift when doing the stomp, right, wait for the shift to go up before pulling out the egg, if you aren't going to pull it out. Yeah, there we go. It's another hit, but Mithrix has the armor. Thankfully, the Polyloop carried over, I believe, outside of the armor. Yeah, these stomps are just, I mean, like, half value. Gets a crit one there, though, which is very nice. Makes it to phase 2, is at 6930. I guess it needs to be done with phase 4 Mithrix by the time to complete of 7242, so has, like, 3 minutes, technically, to go through phase 3 and phase 2. Okay, it's gonna get a stomp here. Good enough. Goes out of the way to avoid all the wisp shots. And it's just going to wait for the next stop. Alright, good play, good play. Gets the kill there. That's unfortunately a golem spawning in there. A lot of wisp shooting. Don't want to die. If you die, if an orb hits you, you got to be careful. You got to look out for the orbs. Stomp's not ready. It is now. Okay, the wisp did not want to orb. And that's phase 2 down. Got 2 minutes to do phase 3. It's going to be close. JD going for a almost full stomp. Gets a little crowbar damage in there. Sadly, not a crit. And... ooh. Okay, Mithrix is going to go center field. Center stage. As an armored stomp. Hopefully Teddy Bear or Safer Spaces is there. Oh god. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Eats a slice of pizza, loses a watch. If JD dies, will not be able to get second place in this loadout. Still gets second place overall. But it will be a DNF here for this Rex run. JD has a minute and a half to kill Mithrix. Phase 3 and Phase 4. Might not entirely know it. Right, starting to push it around the 70-some mark. Uh-oh, this is going to be a scary stop. Makes it out. Okay, kind of have to do that at this point. Deathmark's in play. Huge. Spaces wasn't down, but he ate a slice somehow. And why is timeout being called? JD still had another minute. So here it is. There's a timeout that's called. Thought it might be over, but again, had a little bit more time. And freezes a little bit. Goes for a stomp. Lands it, but then Mithrix just swipes him, and he's at like 20 health. And it's death. And that's it. Timeout's called. Yeah. At literally 40 health. Takes the death, and that's going to be GG. Literally had it. And then Mithrix, well. It's insane. So that's going to be GG. I think Cheese might let him play out, but that's a DNF. Yeah. Let's him charge. DNF, though. Unfortunate. GG. Good attempt. And sorry for the little delay there.